Get to the chopper! Hello and welcome to my review of Sly Marbo. This model was a limited release, one day only, I think, on the 26th of December, which is Boxing Day. Many stores, I think around the world on the Boxing Day, but some stores that were closed on Boxing Day that were open on the 27th, it was available on that day too. This model will cost you £15. It is a fine cast model. There is a difference between fine cast and Forge World resin. They are different sort of qualities of resin. Basically, the Forge World resin is sort of harder and darker, whereas fine cast is lighter and softer. However, they both can be manipulated with a hairdryer. They both can suffer from bubbles and warping. They both have mould lines, and I haven't really experienced that much slippage with fine cast, but then again, they don't really make big kind of tank kind of units like Forge World do with slippage. But anyway, this is the model that we've got. I'll just show you the detail of the model. It's jam-packed with detail, everything here. I put a bit of green stuff in the back just there, just because there was a bit of a gap. Also the blade, or sword pretty much, was a little bit bent, so I've just heated it and straightened it out a bit. He is a bit of a pain to put together, I'll tell you that. Mainly because this leg is a piece, and so is the orc head, and then the base is a separate piece too. So you've got three sort of pieces plus the knife that all have to match up. So you've basically got about 4 or 5 pieces there that all have to be, you know, exact. And what happened was when I first put him together, the leg and the boot were a little bit further back. So hairdryer, heated it up. Like I say, same with the knife, had to melt that a little bit. The arm went together quite well. And the base and the other leg and the head easy, and the back. So overall, a bit of a tricky model to sort of put together. Yeah, in plastic it would have gone together no problem. There's no doubt about that. It's a shame they didn't do it in plastic, but like the Sisters of Battle, I think it's Canoness Veridan, I think she is in fine cast as well, and they never turned her into plastic. And I don't know which is sort of more popular. I think they're both pretty popular. I'd like to know how much Games Workshop would charge if they did actually put them in plastic. Obviously he'd cost more because they'd have to make a brand new sort of plastic printing mould and make more of them. So there's more costs involved in that. So yeah, they may well put him in a clamshell pack too. Maybe he would be £18–20, but £15 isn't too bad, really, for a model this size with so much detail. There's detail all on the leaf and the foliage on the bottom, on the orc head, the little Shop of Horrors plant, all of his muscles, and his little cigar. Hopefully, I'll just zoom in a little bit, hopefully so you can see that. And detail on his watch. So all these pouches and grenades, and then I think the plant is sort of got its tendrils around, or its roots around like the plunger for a detonation box, I think. And then he's got this like Uzi type weapon with a silencer and a scope on as well. So there you go, really nice looking model, lots of detail, just a little bit fiddly to put together, especially with it being super glue as well. So that's the model, so I'll just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll just do a few size comparisons. So next to a mini marine or space marine, he doesn't have the same sort of thickness as a space marine, and he is sort of stood up a little bit on the foliage and the orc head. He's almost as level. I'd probably say he is pretty much level, you know, eye height wise, which makes him a really big, tall sort of human. Obviously his bigger base, his 32mm base, makes him look bigger as well. But yeah, if he was at normal height, probably 6.5 foot, maybe even 7 foot tall. So yeah, pretty tall, pretty chunky hero in the 41st millennium. Next to a Primaris, he is smaller than a Primaris, can you believe? So there you go, he sort of barely comes up to Primaris shoulder pauldron. If anything, that's probably the best sort of to scale kind of comparison I can make. I mean, that's if Primaris Space Marines were the sort of normal scale Space Marines. That's a pretty good scale compared to a normal human. Although he's very thin, very sort of thin arms and legs compared to the Primaris. The only sort of Tyranid model I've got around me, I was going to show you next to a massive model, but I didn't think that would help, is a Lictor. Now I think that's a quite good comparison. And just show you how sort of big the Lictor is. Lictor's quite a tall model, you know, it towers over a sort of Primaris. But there you go, that's sort of the things he'll probably be facing. So that's that. And then I think I might just do this for every single model from now on, next to a Blight Hauler. So compared to the legendary Blight Hauler model, yeah, he's pretty small. Probably he would run up to it and run onto the top and stick his knife or grenade in one of the vents or something, maybe mess about with the weapons to disable them. Who knows what sort of heroic antiques he'll do. But yeah, compared to a Blight Hauler would yeah, chew him up for breakfast quite easily. So there you go, that is the Blight Hauler sort of comparison. Before I talk about the rules and things, I just want to mention that you get all of his rules and things in this little booklet here, which includes like a build guide and a painting guide, all the colours that they used, and also the rules in a number of languages. So I'll be using those in this next part of the review. And you also get a double page, I think it's an A4 poster, probably a little bit smaller than A4, but yeah, it says Sly Marbo on it, got his image and some artwork, like a confidential file kind of thing with some pictures and things on there as well, which is pretty cool. So it's a good package for your £15. You get the rules, you get the guide, you get the painting guide, and you get a little bonus poster as well. I don't think they could have really added any more in with this. Okay, and now we're at this part of my review where I'll talk to you about all the rules and things. So the rules are in the little booklet that you get with the model. His power cost is a 4. I think he's an elite choice. It doesn't say how many points he is at all in any of the description there, so don't know how many points he actually costs. I don't know whether you can use him in you know, match play or competitive play or anything like that. But his stat line is his movement of 6 inches, his weapon skill is 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength is only 3. Yeah, I'm surprised with that, even with those guns. His toughness is only 3. Again, I'm surprised with that. He's got 4 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 7, and a save of 5+. So it's pretty much only a little bit better than his t-shirt save, really. He's a single model, armed with a Ripper pistol, frag grenades, and an envenomed blade. Only one of the model may be included in your army. The Ripper pistol, it's a 12-inch range pistol 3, strength 5, damage 1 weapon, and it wounds all infantry units on a 2+. So yeah, although it's a strength 5, 2+ for wounding. That's all right, and it's 3 shots, not too bad, and you're hitting on 2+ and you're wounding on 2+ too. Melee weapon, the envenomed blade. It's a melee weapon. His strength is +1, so his strength is now the same as a Space Marine, strength of a 4, damage 1, and again the weapon wounds infantry units on a 2+. So you're hitting on 2+ and you're wounding on 2+ with his melee weapon, so that's pretty good. And his frag grenade, just a normal frag grenade really. Now he's got quite a few abilities. He's got an ability called Loner. Officers cannot issue orders to Sly Marbo, and Sly Marbo can never have a warlord trait. He's got lethal ambush. During deployment you can set Sly Marbo in ambush instead of placing him on the battlefield. At the end of any of your movement phases he can emerge from hiding and attack. Set him up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models, and then he can do one of the following. So there's 3 different things he can do now. First one is Stalk with Blade. He can immediately move up to D6 inches in any direction, and in addition, at the start of your next turn, you add 2 to Sly Marbo's attacks characteristics. That's pretty good, so setting him up for sort of melee. Snipe with Pistol. He can immediately shoot his Ripper pistol as if it were the shooting phase. Doing so does not prevent him from shooting in the shooting phase of his turn. That's awesome, you're getting your 6 shots. In addition, until the start of your next turn, Sly Marbo can target enemy characters when he shoots his Ripper pistol, even if another enemy unit is closer. So that's pretty cool too. So, you know, you're getting your 6 shots there at a character you know, hitting on 2+, wounded on 2+, but obviously they're going to get their normal saves from it. Detonate concealed explosives. Now this sounds fun. Pick an enemy unit on the battlefield and roll a d6. You subtract 1 from the result if the unit is a character, but you add 1 if the unit contains 10 or more models. On a 4+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds, but on a 7+, it suffers d6 mortal wounds. That's horrific. So you know, he can just detonate explosives that he's hidden earlier on in the battle, and you're knocking off all those mortal wounds. So bear in mind, you're going to have to pick one of these to do once in the whole game with this lethal ambush. You can only pick one of these things. One with his surroundings. If Sly Marbo receives the benefit of cover, you add 2 to his saving throws instead of 1. That's alright. And like fighting a shadow, once per battle at the start of any movement phases, Sly Marbo can disappear so long as there are no enemy models within 6 inches of him. If he does, remove him from the battlefield. At the end of your next movement phase, he reappears using the lethal ambush ability. So there you go. That kind of negates that lethal ambush back. So like fighting a shadow, that gives him a second go of this lethal ambush. And to me, that reads that it doesn't knock off one of those. So at the start of deployment, you can have him as lethal ambush and have one of those little sub abilities. And then once in the battle, in his movement phase, he can disappear again, so long as no one's close to him. And then you can use that ability again. So, and one of those sub abilities. Say at the start, you use detonate with concealed explosives. You can then choose like fighting a shadow later on in the game, and either do detonate concealed explosive again, or stalk with blade, or snipe with pistol, whatever you want. Basically it's giving you this lethal ambush twice if you want to do that. So he's got an alright stat line, not the best. You know, his movement's alright. It's his save that really lets him down. You've really got to keep him in cover. You know, because his cover save is probably going to be better than his, you know, standard save. He doesn't have like a chameleon cloak or anything like that, so he's not getting an invulnerable save. You've really got to use him in like a dense jungle or cityscape or something like that kind of battlefield. You know, out in the open where it's tank warfare and stuff, he's not going to do very well at all. I suppose the concealed explosives might help him out a bit. Although he's got his strength of 3, his toughness 3 is going to be a bit of an issue there. You know, shooting him with bolt guns or whatever is going to be quite harmful. Just weight of fire really will definitely bring him down. He's not got many wounds at all. He's got 4 attacks, but you know, he's only wounding on the 2+. And then if you couple that with the stalk with blade, you know, he's going to get 6 attacks, which is good, and 6 attacks wounding on 2+ is good. But envenomed blade, I think that's already taken into account that the fact that it's envenomed with the wounding on 2+. It would have been nice if it did something against armour, but it is what it is. You're getting this wound roll of a 2+, and that is for that. But like I say, it would have been nice if it caused D3 mortal wounds or had an AP or something like that. I think he just needs 1 or 2 extra things. I mean, the little abilities and things are cool, but you know, without the points cost, we really don't know. But power cost of 4 isn't too bad, and he's going to be a fun little narrative unit to use in your army, especially if you're thinking about creating like a Katachan army. I just really hope that Games Workshop plough some money and development and stuff into the Katachan models. Well, in the whole of Imperial Guard, to be fair. Personally, I think they should be more invested in all of that than kind of like Space Marines, you know, because there are more Imperial Guard, there are more Astra Militarum and more humanoid sort of forces for the Imperial sort of side of the universe. But we'll see. Maybe we will get some cool looking models at some point for them. As it stands, this is Sly Marbo, and this is what we've got. His rules might not be the best, but he's definitely going to be fun on the battlefield, even if he does get wiped out. Where this model shines, obviously, is, you know, what it looks like, and it is a stunner of a little model. It's just a shame he was limited, but as Games Workshop have said, you know, he will be back. He will be available again at some point next year, 2018. Anyway, what do you guys think of the model and the rules as well? Have you already had a game with him? Please do put it in the comments below as always. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Get to the chopper.